the coming together of religious leaders is not an option for our days. It's a must. Religions play a very important role in what is occurring in the midst of humanity and in the human problematic of our days. In the 19th century, in the first part of the 20th century, many people believe that it's the end of the religions. They entered what we know as a positivism. Everything could be analyzed through an optical of logic, logical optics, and everything could be explained in using the ratio, using the intelligence, using the analytical capability. But since the middle of the 70s, occurred something that was very well analyzed in a book that I very frequently use to quote, named La Revanche de Dieu, the Revenge of God, written by a French sociologist named Keppel, and he describes what occurred in the second half of the 70s, how the Islam returned to religion, how the Christian denominations returned to religion, and how Judaism returned to religion, but not to a modernized and a really deeper expression of the spirituality that the different religions are able to produce, but not a regression to very close religions, a regression to very strict orthodoxy in religions, and a spiritual voice must appear, a clear spiritual voices must be heard in order to stop all the orthodox way of thinking at large, because when there is a war, it means that the spiritual condition of human being disappeared, because one is ready to kill the other, and in many cases they are doing that using in an infamous way the name of God. So this kind of encounters must help. There must be a trigger for all the participants to change a little bit the personal visions, to let the other come into each one, to hear the voice of the other, to have empathy with what is going on with the other. So in such way, we can produce some world ethics and to push against all the negative factors that have so many terrible expressions in our days. This is the importance of this meeting and of all the meetings in which people try to hear what the other can say, can express all the feelings of the other, and to interact with the other in order to form really what I suppose is my belief, what God is expecting from all of us human beings, to be a great family. We have to have in mind that this is a Talmudic expression. In the Talmud, the sages ask, why God created one only person? Why only one? In order to show you that all of us are brothers, that from one person developed the whole humanity, and all of us are brothers. And this is the idea. To be brothers is a conflicted issue. Take a look, the book of Genesis. All the book has as an axis quarrels between brothers. At the end, we have a happy end. There are a peace between Joseph and all of his brothers. In reality, Joseph succeed to create a reality of peace with all of his brothers. But this is the challenge for humanity forever. The first challenge that the religious leadership in the world has in our days, as it was in the past, is to get the confidence of humanity, to have leaders that their voice is respected by thousands of millions. And such kind of leaders must be very sincere leaders, very honest leaders, leaders with a lot of courage, with spiritual grandeur, and spiritual courage, and their voices through the actions and through the integrity of their behaviors, their voices could be taken into account by a great part of humanity. Now we have not moral leaders. Yes, moral leaders, we have some moral leaders. The Pope, for instance, Pope Francis, and other moral leaders that are recognized in the world and that they are working for peace. But you can count them with the fingers of one hand, maybe with the two hands. And their impact really in order to move things in the midst of humanity is very reduced. There are a lot of organizations that supposedly had to guarantee some stability, some normality among the people, among the nations, but they're failing terribly. United Nations is one of them. United Nations is one of them. Let us talk clearly, not with euphemisms. Yeah. And the voices of such leaders, if this could be built in human reality, but because this is also a great question. We remember the voices of the prophets, but they didn't succeed, and in their time when they lived, they didn't succeed always. Not ever they accomplished to transform in things, in actions, their messages from God. because the leaders were in cross with them. Jeremiah was sent into a jail, some kind of jail, and other leaders, some kind of jail that was in biblical times. This is another challenge, another question. It's not only, there are two factors. One, to get great leaders, and the second one is that their voices be taken into account. Each one of us has an obligation with the other. When Cain killed Abel, God asked to Cain, in Hebrew, Hey Evel Achicha, where is Abel your brother? And the answer of God to Cain was, the answer of Cain to God was, Ashomer achi anochi? Am I the shomer, the keeper, the guard of my brother? This answer is the most terrible answer that a human being can give, in his life. And this is the parallel to not to leave someone behind. We must go together, one holding the hand of the other. This is the only way in order to transform human reality in a reality a little bit much better than the reality of our days. Excuse for the ironic, a little bit much better, but I suppose that you and all those who are going to listen to my words will understand the irony of that. Let God bless our efforts. Let God bless our efforts.